Right now at 6, cash payments for Oklahoma toll roads are now a thing in the past.
Cold weather, though, not quite in our past yet as it continues today, and it'll be windy again. A look at that forecast. Get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, the margin of approval narrows for the passage of sports betting in the Show Me states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Thursday, November the 21st. We are officially now 1 week away from Thanksgiving.
Yes,
hopefully you've got everything kind of planned out. I know some things you can't buy too early. You don't want to buy certain things too early.
Your produce or your meats.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get them a little closer to Turkey Day, but hopefully you got things ready. Like you know what your game plan is.
Yes,
you got to make sure you at least have that game plan, and I'm sure more of you have a more detailed game plan for Black Friday.
Probably. Isn't that so funny?
Yeah,
Some people might not even think about Thanksgiving, and they're like, I know exactly.
They're like, here, I ordered a pizza for Thanksgiving. We're going to sit down and we're going to plan out what stores we're hitting and when on Friday.
As long as there's some kind of pie for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there's got to be, exactly. There's got to be something there. But let's take a quick look outside, shall we, from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Look at that. Skies are clear this morning, and it is cold. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking good as well. And, of course, we are still cold down here as well. We also have freeze warnings, Oklahoma and Arkansas. They'll continue through 8 o'clock tomorrow. I would not be surprised to see some come back tonight or maybe even over a broader area because we're going to be colder tonight than what we are now. Because it's going to be chilly today. It's going to be colder today than where we were yesterday as well. By noon, northwest winds picking up out there, gusting upwards of 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. Temperatures, as you can see by noon as well, low to mid 40s. Now in our southern counties, could make the low 50s today, but I think the bulk of our communities out here are only going to make the upper 40s at best because it's going to be a bit on the chilly side. And of course, with those winds gusting, it's going to make it feel a lot colder out there, which is no fun either. This is the case yesterday. Even though we made the low to mid 50s, it didn't feel like it with those 40 to 45 mile an hour wind gusts we were seeing. We're sitting at 39 in Joplin and in Pittsburgh. And as I mentioned earlier, our temperatures are going to fall back a little more to get to those official lows, say in the next 30 minutes or so. But we've got upper 30s, still some low to mid 40s here and there, and technically all still above average. Kids getting on the bus this morning, they will want that coat. It's going to be cold, about 36. And then west winds 10 to 15, gusting to 20. And then by late morning, they'll shift out of the northwest, gusting 25 to 30. Still clear skies when the bus brings them home, 49. And as I mentioned, the majority of us going upper 40s, some low 50s in our southern counties, absolutely possible. Clear skies continue through the evening. Winds will ease up later this evening into the overnight as well. Will be a pinch warmer tomorrow. Will be a lot warmer this weekend. Then there's rain chances and other exciting things on the horizon. We'll go over all those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, a crash yesterday involving a train and a dump truck killed the truck driver. It happened around 8:30 yesterday morning, about 4 miles north of Neosho. Now, troopers say a dump truck crossed the CPKC tracks on a dirt lane when the train struck. The driver was thrown from the vehicle as the cab was ripped from the chassis. He later died at the hospital. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, yesterday was the last time a driver will pay cash for a toll road in Oklahoma. The change comes as Oklahoma makes the switch to cashless tolls. While drivers will no longer stop to pay, they will instead keep driving. On Turnpike, scanners will look for a Pike Pass, a cashless toll payment system Oklahoma has been using since 1991. Now, if drivers don't have a Pike Pass, the Plate Pay, the state's cashless tolling system, will scan your license plate and mail you a bill you can pay online. Now, the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority says the change was made to not only make driving the state's roads more convenient, but also more safe.
But as times have changed, and as, quite frankly, the safety concerns grew tremendously, we had more than 500 crashes of a severe nature at our toll plazas across the state over the 6 years prior to the start of our cashless conversion.
The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority asks drivers to watch for workers at toll locations as they begin the process of deconstructing the toll booths. Well, sports betting in Missouri appears to be a much tighter race than originally thought. At last check, the difference in votes was just over 2,000. That's a difference of 0.06%. If results were to be certified, a recount could be requested. The Missouri Gaming Commission says they are prepared for either outcome.
Certainly, all of the vote counting and other things because of the slim margin, we have plenty of time to get our work done. If it truly comes to pass that it doesn't pass, then we'll just be on hold like we've been in the past.
Votes will not be certified for a few weeks. The holidays are a time for gathering with your loved ones, but you don't always have the same opinions as your family. And following a tumultuous election season, tensions at the dinner table can reach new levels. A 2024 Pew Research study found that 65% of U.S. adults always or often feel exhausted by politics, and 55% always or often felt angry. Mental health experts say when you combine politics and family, it can lead to increased levels of stress and anxiety. All right, we apologize for that technical difficulty. Well, if you begin feeling stressed or upset this holiday season, Hefner recommends trying to step away from the conversation and practice breathing exercises. You can learn more on how to handle these difficult conversations tonight on KOAM News at 6. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Ahead of Thanksgiving travel, American Airlines is cracking down on line cutters during boarding. Plus, President-elect Trump has named a couple of people from his prior administrations to key positions. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the National Avenue Bridge for Historic Bridge Awareness Month. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. Just in time for the holiday travel season, American Airlines is rolling out technology that shames those who cut in line during the boarding process. Now, the airline says passengers who try to board before their assigned group will set off an error beep alerting the gate agent. Now, the technology was tested over the last month in 3 airports, and there was positive feedback on it. Now, American is now rolling out the technology to over 100 airports. That includes at the world's busiest airport in passenger traffic, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International. The carrier plans to expand it to additional hubs later on. And American says it plans to fly more than 8 million passengers over the Thanksgiving holiday period. More than half of adults who have yet to retire say they will need to rely on Social Security benefits for necessary expenses. According to a new survey from Bankrate, around 53% of Americans said they will need to use Social Security in retirement. Many Americans worry about how their benefits might change since the program is expected to have a revenue shortfall in less than a decade. The survey said among those 60 and older and closest to retiring, 69% said they will rely on Social Security benefits. The U.S. government formally proposed a partial breakup of Google on Wednesday. The Department of Justice urged a federal judge this week to force a sale of the company's Chrome web browser. In their court filing, antitrust enforcers said that a spin-off of Chrome could help prevent an illegal monopoly from reoccurring. If approved, the penalties could revolutionize how millions of Americans search for information, and it could potentially disrupt the tight integration among many of Google's key products and services. Now, a landmark ruling this year found that Google had violated U.S. antitrust law with its search business. Google has promised to appeal. The company didn't immediately respond to a request for comment on Wednesday's filing. The House Ethics Committee report on Trump Attorney General pick Matt Gaetz will remain under wraps for now. Now, Gaetz, who has denied all wrongdoing, met with Republicans in Washington yesterday as he tried to bolster support for his nomination. Meanwhile, the president-elect has named a couple of people from his prior administration to key positions as he looks to fill out his cabinet by Thanksgiving. Jared Hill has more from New York.
It was a great day.
Matt Gaetz back on Capitol Hill Wednesday. President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General, flanked by Trump's incoming Vice President, J.D. Vance, met privately with GOP senators who will be crucial to Gaetz' confirmation.
Folks have been very supportive. They've been saying we're going to get a fair process.
The meetings as the 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans on the House Ethics Committee failed to reach an agreement on releasing its report outlining allegations of sexual misconduct against the former Florida congressman.
We did agree that we would reconvene as a committee on December 5th to further consider this matter.
Trump said this week he will not reconsider nominating Gaetz, who's alleged to have attended 10 to 15 sex parties and had sex with a 17-year-old. That minor was interviewed by the House committee. CBS News has also learned Venmo records obtained by House investigators show Gaetz paid 2 women more than $10,000 in 27 payments. Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing. Senators from both parties say they want to see the report ahead of confirmation.
How can he conceal this report from the American public?
Either way, that information is going to be part of the process.
Meanwhile, Trump has chosen his former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker for U.S. ambassador to NATO. And 2 sources familiar with the transition tell CBS News Trump is expected to tap his former director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vought, to head the agency again. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Meetings between GOP senators and some of President-elect Trump's key cabinet nominees are expected to continue today through the Thanksgiving break. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, at this point, the Skywatch storm tracker is clear. Just a few clouds off to our north and east. Skies are clear across the area, and we are a bit on the cold side this morning. We're not expecting a bunch of warming either. Most of us only going into the upper 40s across the region. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
In East Providence, 4-year-old held a hot chocolate stand to help the unhoused community. Samantha Reed has more.
At a home on Ferncrest Drive in East Providence, Christmas has come a little early.
We love Christmas. We're already all decorated for Christmas.
As the temps dip low, the Vieiras are hoping to help with that.
We wanted to do something different.
Which is why instead of hosting the classic lemonade stand in the summer, 4-year-old Brady is back at it.
I'm doing my hot chocolate stand.
With his second annual winterized one.
Thank you! You don't see many hot chocolate stands out there, so we thought it would be different and lure customers in.
Who am I going to give this to?
On Saturday from 12 until 3, people from all over came for a cup of cocoa.
The turnout this year has been extremely, way more than last year.
And while the hot treat hits the spot, the reason behind all of this is as sweet as the boy who's in charge.
But he doesn't have one.
Okay.
Just ask Brady why he's doing this.
Because homeless people.
Funds from his fundraiser will be donated to the Hope and Faith Drive LLC. It'll help people struggling this holiday season.
He really is grasping the concept of what we're doing this year. And he knows why we're doing this.
And this is not just any stand. It's a top-of-the-line treat offering with a table of toppings and everything in between. Going above expectations, the Vieiras say, was important.
Our customers went the extra mile to support Brady. So that's why we did it.
What do you want?
There's no cost for a cup or a treat. Whatever donation was welcomed.
20s, 50s.
A lot.
Yeah.
And while Brady is extremely generous,
This is for free.
more than $2,000 was raised.
It's so special to us that they came out to support our son.
That more than triples the success of last year. But his parents say it's what Brady is learning at an early age that in return means the most to his family.
We want to teach Brady that kindness is our number one priority. If we can ask him to be anything in this world, it's kind.
Now let's check in with Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got a cold but nice start to the day. Skies are clear as the sun begins to rise out there. It's going to be chilly today. Then we'll have some gradual warming as we head into the weekend. Got a full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:22 now on this Thursday morning. Starting with this beautiful shot from downtown Pittsburgh at 4th and Broadway, looking back toward the sunrise. Another clear start to the day. Looks fantastic out there. Temperatures don't feel too fantastic, but the view is great. Another view of that sunrise from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. And again, it is a bit of a cold one out there. Cold enough that we do have freeze advisories. Oklahoma and Arkansas through 8 o'clock this morning. And depending on how things kind of pan out, wouldn't be surprised to see more of these, or at least these ones get reissued as we go overnight tonight, because we're actually expected to be colder tonight than where we are right now. In fact, today, colder than what we had yesterday as well. Take a look by noon. Low mid 40s for most of us. Now, our southern counties, again, maybe a little warmer. Could see some low 50s down to the south, but the majority of us today are probably only going to make about the upper 40s out there. And then on top of that, later this morning, northwest winds start gusting 25 to 30 miles an hour. So it was breezy, very breezy yesterday. Breezy last night, still now. But the winds will begin to ease up as we go into the late evening and overnight hours out there. We will be colder tomorrow. Take a look at these temperatures by 5 o'clock. Most of us into the upper 20s to start our Friday. So definitely make sure you are bundled up, because it is going to be cold. By Friday, we'll have a few clouds here or there, so mostly clear skies as we go into the afternoon. Now again, we're only into the mid-40s or so, about noon, but we are expected to see a few more communities go into the low 50s out there. But kind of reverse from today, we could still have a few upper 40s, but majority of us should at least make the low 50s. And winds will begin shifting out of the south as we go into Friday night into Saturday. 39 in Joplin right now. 33 is what it feels like with a west-northwest breeze at about 9 miles an hour. Across the area, temperatures, again, most of us technically above normal. We're in the upper 30s and even some low 40s here and there. And as we go through the morning, we're going to start upper 30s, clear skies, winds increase. 45 by 11 o'clock this morning. As we head into the afternoon, our highs today, as I mentioned, majority of us upper 40s, but some low 50s absolutely possible. It's just the low 50s will be the minority today, and those gusty northwest winds. Winds will start to ease up by late evening, mid 30s by about 10 o'clock. Overnight lows, again, upper 20s for most of us with clear skies. We head into our Friday, low 50s, low 60s by Saturday. A few clouds here and there, near 70 on Sunday. And then evening showers start working in. We get rain chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So here's what we're looking at. Temperatures after Sunday begin to come back down a little bit. And then we're still watching a couple of things. We're looking at a storm system that's been consistent in showing up. What's inconsistent is just exactly what we're going to get out of it. We're looking at rain. If the rain holds on and lasts overnight and into Thursday morning, into Thanksgiving morning, then we could be looking at some light flurries, maybe a wintry mix as we get Thanksgiving underway. That said, at this point, we're not looking at any kind of major winter storm. Now, if you're traveling up north, say I-70, that could be an issue. But here, we're just looking at more than likely just slick spots. So again, just leave early, plan your day appropriately. And either way, very cold. We're going to start in the 20s, only making it into the upper 30s to about 40, and we stay cool into the next weekend as well. Let's check your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Lise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Nearly 1 in 4 Americans say they experience chronic pain. A survey by the CDC found about 8% say their pain frequently limits their life and work activities. Now, chronic pain can also lead to opioid use and depression. Another finding from the survey, people who live in rural areas report higher rates of pain than people in cities. Well, a third of Americans say their doctor has never asked them about their mental health. A survey by Gallup and West Health found most patients would be comfortable talking about mental health issues with a doctor. The findings come at a time when more than 1 in 5 Americans is living with a mental illness. And more children and teens have digestive issues than previously thought. A study published in Gastroenterology estimates more than 100,000 Americans under the age of 20 have inflammatory bowel disease. That's among the highest rate worldwide, and the reason for the high number is still unknown. The third Thursday of November is World Pancreatic Cancer Day. Advances in treatment are helping patients recover faster. I'm going to take it over to Bradley Blackburn with more.
When Mark and Franco began experiencing severe itchiness for weeks in March 2023, his son, a dental student, urged him to get his liver enzymes checked.
They did the blood panel, and they could see the liver enzymes were through the roof.
Scans showed a golf ball-sized tumor on the head of his pancreas.
Almost like disbelief that this happened. I'm a guy who's lived and sick a day in my life. Healthy, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I work out. Thankfully, it didn't spread. Lymph nodes were clean.
The Whipple procedure, which removes part of the pancreas, intestine, and gallbladder, is the standard for pancreatic cancer. But Franco was a candidate for a more minimally invasive approach, robotically assisted surgery performed by Dr. Aaron Sasson, the director of the Pancreatic Cancer Center at Stony Brook Medicine.
The advances in robotic surgery have been paramount and allows us to do very complex operations that before required very large incisions.
Dr. Sasson says while the risks of the operation are the same, patients can have less pain, scarring, and fewer complications like infection.
It is quicker recovery robotically. There tends to be less blood loss robotically. However, it does take longer. I think eventually, as surgeons are trained on this technique, there'll be more and more adoption of it.
Within 2-3 weeks, I was up and around. Little discomfort.
After surgery, Franco had 6 months of chemotherapy and 30 radiation treatments.
I'm feeling good. We have grandkids now. We have 4 children. I'm retiring next couple of years, and I wanted to spend time with the family.
He says he's looking forward to the next stage of life, cancer-free. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
About 66,440 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer this year, and about 51,750 people will die of the disease, according to the American Cancer Association. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Special Olympics athletes strike out to the bowling alley for some friendly competition.
And it is cold out there this morning. It's going to be chilly later today, and it will be breezy again. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, some McDonald County High School students set the table for a Thanksgiving dinner.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It's the Thursday, November 21st. Sorry, I was distracted because speaking of setting the table, were you chopping vegetables a moment ago?
I wasn't chopping vegetables. I was just trying not to cough really loudly while you were, doing your wonderful swish there for us.
I'll have to give that a try the next time I need to withhold a cough or a sneeze.
Yes, just chop.
Go after. Okay. Well, whatever works.
Oh,
happy
it's gonna
Thursday.
Be a good morning. Yes.
It is. It's going to be a great morning. That's our job, is to make your morning a great morning, and hopefully it is. And if not, as I've mentioned, I can try magic tricks or standing on my head. It will not go well. That might be more amusing. But what I can do that sometimes is amusing, sometimes it's not, is the weather. And I will start with a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. The sun beginning to rise out there. We've got clear skies. It looks fantastic, but it is cold. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. Well, it looks good, doesn't it? It looks nice. However, I would be willing to put money that every single car you see out here probably has the heat on because, well, it's cold. And it's cold enough that we actually have freeze warnings. Oklahoma and Arkansas through 8 o'clock this morning. And with tonight's temperatures expected to be colder than they are right now, wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more of those. We'll see how the Weather Service offices handle that. As we go into the noon hour, we're looking at low to mid 40s for most of us. Again, our southern counties could be a bit warmer, but I do believe the majority of us are looking at upper 40s today. And then we'll have that northwest wind that'll be gusting upwards of 25, 30 miles an hour. So similar to yesterday, despite the sunshine, it is still going to feel cold outside. And it is cold now. All right, we're sitting at 39 in Joplin, 38 in Pittsburgh and across the area. I mean, even though it's cold, we are still above normal. We've got upper 30s and down south getting a little warmer, some low 40s out there as well. Kids getting on the bus this morning, they will want that coat, and I don't think you're going to have to fight them on this. If they go outside without it, they're going to come back in for it. So we're looking at about 36, west winds 10 to 15, gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour, and that bus brings them home. Still clear skies, 49, northwest winds gusting, and of course it's going to feel downright cold. Again, upper 40s today, maybe some low 50s, gusty winds through the day, but later this evening those winds will begin to ease up a little bit for us. We're going to be pretty cold tonight, be a hair warmer tomorrow, much warmer this weekend, and then big changes in store as we head into the next work week. Details on all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll see you soon. Well, 2 in every 5 women struggle with access to period products. Parsons High School is tackling this issue in their schools through the help of a grant. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
It's a request the Parsons School District nurse receives weekly.
We have over 180 females just in our high school alone, and of those, most of them come in and will need products or relief from discomfort and pain.
Amber Jones says period poverty is a health concern that especially affects those in rural areas and in low-income families.
You never know when you might need something, or there are things that you can't necessarily schedule with your body. So we provide those items so we can keep kids in school, keep them comfortable.
Period poverty is an issue nationwide and worldwide that we needed to do something.
Jones says a lack of access to feminine hygiene products often leads to students missing school.
If a female was on her period, she may stay home for the first 3 heavy flow days of her period, and that really would affect attendance.
To tackle this issue in the Parsons School District, Care Cupboard Pantry applied for a $1,000 grant to purchase feminine hygiene products to donate to Parsons schools.
We're excited to see these dollars put to use in our community and to see the impact that they're going to have.
Move that needle in the right direction about accessibility, about availability, about getting it just readily available at everyone's fingertips wherever they should be, at home, at school.
The grant will be used to purchase products like tampons and pads, along with products for cramps like Tylenol and heat packs. Reporting in Parsons, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, the state of Kansas has a sales tax on period products. The Parsons School District's nurse believes this contributes to period poverty. Well, Special Olympic athletes in Southeast Kansas spared some good times for a friendly competition. Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh hosted the Special Olympics Youth Bowling Tournament yesterday. More than 250 bowlers ages 8 to 21 from 22 schools around the region rolled out to the event.
Honestly, it's just been so cool to have the opportunity to be able to put on these events because every single event has been growing. We've added more schools, more athletes, which just means that there's a big need for it. And any way we can celebrate our athletes, that's what we're here for.
The tournament continues through today. McDonald County High School seniors are preparing to host a community Thanksgiving dinner this weekend. The event had to take a 3-year hiatus due to COVID. Now this year, the seniors are again coming together to give back, and not for credit or compensation, but out of a sense of compassion for their community. It's organized by the Rho Kappa National Social Studies Honor Society. Well, Freeman hosts a special signing day for graduate nurses. Now, 16 graduate nurses from 4 area nursing programs were recognized last night for completing 2 years of schooling as they work to achieve their goal of becoming licensed nurses with Freeman Health System. The graduate nurses will eventually take their national exams and then become registered nurses. But for some of them, their nursing path led to more than a job. Along their medical journey, 2 of the GNs fell in love and got married. And now they can work together at Freeman Hospital.
We started out as classmates just competing for the highest grade and always trying to get better than the other person on quizzes and tests. And I always beat him.
Almost.
And then, after that, we just started studying together and slowly but surely fell in love.
The 16 signees represent Crowder College, Fort Scott Community College, Southwest Baptist University, and Carthage Technical Center. Well, a sure sign the holiday season is officially here is an appearance by this guy, Santa Claus. The Jolly Elf is set up at North Park Mall in Joplin yesterday to pose for pictures with some area kiddos and to find out what they want for Christmas. For the kids who couldn't make it yesterday, don't worry, you can catch St. Nick at the North Park Mall through December 16th. Now, for specific times, including when you can bring your pets, just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. And our annual Feed the Four States Telethon kicks off today at noon, 5, 6, and 9. Our phone operators will be standing by to help take your call and help you donate to area food pantries to help feed the hungry in our area. You can also scan this QR code to head over to our website where we've provided all the information you'll need on what to donate and where you can drop off donations. Please join us today and help feed the 4 states. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Our very own Samantha Walker joins us in the studio to talk about her new special report on how to deal with hot topics at the Thanksgiving table. And we have a cold and breezy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the National Avenue Bridge for historic Bridge Awareness Month. Well, Thanksgiving is exactly 1 week from today, and sometimes the dinner table conversation can get a little heated when a relative brings up a hot topic. We have Samantha Walker with us this morning. She has a few tips on to help avoid family tensions this holiday season. Good morning to you. Happy to have you with us this morning. So Samantha, talk to me a little bit just about, the overall arching, stressors and tensions that come with Thanksgiving, especially during a tumultuous election season like we just had.
Yeah, exactly like you said. We just came off a very tumultuous election season. Some people are really happy with results. Some people are not happy. But when you add in some of that election stress, not all family members agree. I think we've learned this, through experience. But you add that that election stress with the holidays, when you're trying to make sure that your recipes are right, that you have enough, beds in the house for all the guests coming, or you have to travel, or you're just trying to make sure you have gifts for everyone, or maybe money with the holidays is stressful.
Yes.
When you add that all together, it is a huge bundle of sometimes stress and anxiety for people, which can just make it really a stressful time of year.
Certainly. And you talked to an expert about this, kind of about the mental health side of things. Talk to me about that interview and kind of what they shared.
Yeah, so I talked with the director of adult psychiatric services with the Ozark Center, and he said this is, one of the most common times for people to be stressed, even without an election year. Especially when we're talking about the winter months, he said that's a time also when people, struggle more with anxiety or depression.
Seasonal depression.
Seasonal depression is a very real thing. And so when you add that in with the holidays and after an election year, it's just a whole lot of things. So he wants people to be very mindful of their mental health during this time of year. Consider it, keep it in mind, know that that is something they should be looking for and addressing, and keeping in mind and thinking about self-care during this stressful time.
Absolutely. And then if these, tensions do arise at the dinner table, what are just a few tips that you found through your reporting that are going to help people the most?
Yeah, so one thing he recommended is really just try to watch how other people at the table are, feeling or reacting. Look for those raised voices. Look for that change in body language. And, when possible, try to find that common ground. Because these are, a lot of times relationships you want to keep, that you want to nurture.
Yes.
You want to enjoy your time together with your family or with your cousins or with your friends. And you don't want those difficult conversations to be the thing that ruins it. So he said if you need to, you can always just bar those conversations from the table altogether. I know that's something a lot of families do. And, that sounds really simple, but sometimes that's just the best case scenario.
So it's respectful too. Well, Samantha, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We're happy to have you here. Of course, Samantha will be sharing her full special report on Turkey Day tensions tonight on KOAM News at 6. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Time for some Thursday birthdays, and we're going to start in Iola with Avery Sanchez celebrating birthday number 6. Happy birthday.
And happy 17th birthday to Sarah High School in Owasso. Says love you bunches, Papa and Granny.
And we've got Tim Sanders in Parsons celebrating birthday number 37 with happy birthday wishes coming from Kevin and Dee.
And over in Columbus, a happy 69th birthday to Ralph Hauser.
And in Jasper, Tom Eisenman celebrating birthday number 70. Happy birthday, Tom.
And in Chanute, a happy 59th anniversary to Denny and Janet Marr.
And our list continues with Dawn Hubbard celebrating birthday number 88. Says love from all your kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids.
And a happy birthday to Colleen Grant in Scammon.
And last but certainly not least, Diana Duncan celebrating another year wiser. All right. We like birthdays and anniversaries. We really do, and we want to celebrate them with you. Elise, what do they need to do?
Yes, go ahead and submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos and messages to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen, and to include the date of your celebration when submitting.
You certainly want to make sure you include all of that information. It is very essential for celebrating those birthdays and anniversaries. Let's start with a look outside, shall we? This is our camera, downtown Pittsburgh, 4th and Broadway. Of course, looking back to the east. Looks great out there. Skies are clear. The sun's slowly starting to come up. Same from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Looking beautiful on this Thursday morning. Unfortunately, the temperature's not feeling so beautiful. In fact, we still have freeze warnings, Oklahoma and Arkansas, through 8 o'clock this morning, and wouldn't be surprised to see more of those as we head into tonight, because it's going to be colder tonight than where we're at right now. All right, today also colder than yesterday. By noon, we've got low mid 40s out there. Now again, our southern counties could reach the low 50s, but I think the bulk of our area here will be hitting the upper 40s today for highs. Additionally, we'll have that northwest wind. It'll begin shifting out of the northwest a little later this morning, and those gusts will be 25 to 30 miles an hour. When we go into the evening hours, again, northwest winds. We see how the wind arrows are beginning to slow down a bit. As we go later into the evening and overnight, the winds will ease up. They'll still be out of the northwest, about 5 to 10, but not nearly as gusty as we've seen since yesterday. By Friday morning, we'll have a few clouds here and there. Temperatures, though, upper 20s for a good number of us. So again, that's why I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more freeze warnings as a possibility. We'll have mostly clear skies through the day on Friday, and we're going to be a little warmer. I think tomorrow is going to be a little reverse of today. Instead of just a few locations in the upper 50s, I think it's going to be just a few locations in our northern counties that'll be in the upper 40s, with the bulk of us reaching the low 50s on our Friday. Then we go overnight Friday into Saturday, and as we showed you yesterday, and it's a little clearer now, the winds overnight shift out of the south. So it's still a cold start on Saturday. We're into the low 30s, but with that south wind, it's going to start bringing in slightly warmer air. And by Saturday afternoon, we are looking at upper 50s and low 60s for our highs. And if that's not warm enough for you, it's going to be even warmer on Sunday as we get close to 70 degrees. Right now, though, it is not 70 degrees. It is 39 in Joplin. Feels like 33 with a west-northwest breeze at about 9 miles an hour. Around the area, we're still technically above normal out there. We've got mid-upper 30s and still even some low 40s in some of our southern counties. And as we head through the morning, we will eventually make it back into the upper 30s here to start. Clear skies, breezy, mid-40s by 11 o'clock this morning. And again, that's ahead of those highs pushing into the upper 40s for many of us. Now, I want to get to the 10-day because I want to talk about something real quick. So we continue to warm up into the weekend. Rain chances Sunday through Wednesday. And it's Thursday we're watching. It's Thanksgiving. Now, we're not looking at a major winter storm. I want to emphasize that. I really do. There looks to be the potential for heavier snow north of us. We're saying right now maybe the I-70 corridor and points north. Here, it depends on just how cold it gets and how fast it does so. As we're looking at rain, we're looking at a fair amount of rainfall coming in, and then temperatures dropping significantly, honestly, down highs on Thanksgiving, upper 30s to about 40. If the rain is continuing overnight and into the morning, we could have some light flurries, maybe a light wintry mix. So we're not looking at anything significant, but it could be enough to cause slick spots. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on this forecast. We'll keep you updated, and just be prepared to leave a little early on Thanksgiving to get where you're going. That is a quick check of your forecast. We've got the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., the White House Christmas tree aims to be a symbol of hope this holiday season for victims of Hurricane Helene.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A crash yesterday involving a train and a dump truck leaves one dead. Around 8:30 yesterday morning, troopers say a dump truck crossed the CPKC tracks on a dirt lane when the train struck. The driver was thrown from the vehicle as the cab was ripped from the chassis. He later died at the hospital. Yesterday was the last time a driver will pay cash for a toll road in Oklahoma. The change comes as Oklahoma makes the switch to cashless tolls. The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority says the change was made to not only make driving the state roads more convenient, but also safer. Our annual Feed the Four States Telethon kicks off today at noon, 5, 6, and 9. Our phone operators will be standing by to help take your call and help you donate to area food pantries to help feed the hungry in our area. You can also scan this QR code to head over to our website where we've provided all the information you'll need on what to donate and where you can drop off donations. Please join us today and help feed the four states. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we've got a cold start as you head out the door. Chilly today, most of us upper 40s, northwest winds gusting 25 to 30, so it'll feel even colder, but the sun will be shining. It'll certainly look nice out there. Clear skies through the evening, winds easing up, mid-30s by 10, upper 20s for our overnight lows tonight. And we'll start warming up as we head into the weekend, near 70 by Sunday. Rain chances out there as well, and we're watching that potential of maybe a light wintry mix for Thanksgiving. So again, no major winter storm expected, but do be prepared for some slick spots. If you're traveling locally, just leave a little early. Make sure you get there safely.
Absolutely. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making melting sweet potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. Now, this morning, Emily Frankowski from Connect to Culture joins us in the studio to talk about their upcoming events.
And Captain William Davis from the Joplin Police Department also joining us in the studio to talk about how to keep your online packages safe this holiday shopping season. That's a very essential thing. You don't want to order something, it arrives, you're not there, and then it's gone.
Right.
That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.